you're all doing great and staying absolutely safe as well. Please let me know in the comment section if I'm clearly audible and visible to you guys. अगर मेरी आवाज आप तक पहुंच रही है, आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. First of all, would like to welcome you all to the platform of IAS Origin. So, as you all know, the agenda is very much clear that today we are going to decode this very important theme of GS Paper 3 Mains Examination, and the theme is of Science and Technology. Science and Tech की जो theme है, बहुत important theme है. We are going to be decoding that very theme, and I'll hope that this analysis gives you a proper roadmap of preparation of this particular portion. So, as you all know, we have covered already GS Paper 1 all components. We have covered GS Paper 2 all components, and now we are doing GS Paper 3. So we are done with this economy part more or less. Disaster management we have done. We have done environment ecology. Yesterday we did internal security also. And today we are going to be doing this part of science and tech. Would like to tell you one very important thing is that tomorrow, that is Friday, we'll be doing a very important component which can be clubbed with economy or seen separately, that is agriculture. So agriculture का भी पोर्शन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है जीएस पेपर 3 के लिए. सो कल हम लोग यानी कि फ्राइडे को एग्रीकल्चर के कैसे क्वेश्चंस आए हैं उसको बेसिकली डिकोड करेंगे on this platform of IAS Origin, of course. So I am really hopeful that these sessions are giving you proper clarity on what exactly has to be approached and what to study. See, it's very simple that these sessions may not tell you what question is going to be there, but these sessions will surely tell you that what theme is there which is being focused so much by the UPSC. UPSC किन particular themes के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा focus कर रहा है. You surely are going to be decoding that thing, and I think that is most important than anything else, that you have to have a basic knack of idea that what exactly is the theme which is being asked by the UPSC. And we have seen in the past as well that if you have a basic bare minimum understanding on what all are the themes and how do we study that, so you are always in a very comfortable space of preparation. And one very interesting thing is that usually what we have observed is that when we talk about this science and technology portion, ठीक है, science and technology का जो portion है GS paper 3 में, like if I talk about 2024 का paper, we had 2 10 markers and we had 2 15 markers. So we had basically 50 marks coming from this portion out of 250 marks paper. So of course, this makes this very much important theme, and we are not supposed to be ignoring this particular aspect. So always be very clear about one thing, that whenever we are studying about anything for that matter, we have to have a proper clarity in our mind that how we are going to decode that particular theme. कोई भी theme जो है, how do we decode that on the basis of the weightage, and how in the first place are we supposed to draw a proper clarity. That is of course very much important. So I'll just again show you GS paper 3 ki weightage, which I did show you in previous videos as well. So have a look at this. Like economy, we will be having around 100 marks. Environment, say, we will be having more than 20 marks usually. Science and tech, say, as you have seen, 50 marks will be there. Security, 50 marks will be there. Disaster management is around 30 marks. So this is how the weightage is like. Rough weightage. So it can go 10-20 marks up and down, but this is how it usually stays. And that's what I'm saying, that if you talk about the science and technology ki theme, so science and technology are usually like we have 2 10 markers and 2 15 markers. It will give you around 50 marks, as you can see. Now it is not fixed, as you all can see. It will keep on varying, of course it will, but we have to be very much clear that how in the first place are we supposed to target this, how in the first place are we supposed to manage it appropriately. That is of course very much important. So that is what we are trying to do. यहाँ तक बेटे clear है सबको? All of you, I hope you are in a position to at least understand this idea very much specifically. चलिए. So now when we talk about this very theme of science and technology, the biggest question is that how do we approach that? Like what exactly are we supposed to be reading from this very theme? And let me tell you one thing, that if I specifically pick this syllabus of UPSC as well, what are we going to get from there? That is also a very important thing. See, मतलब UPSC का syllabus क्या बोल रहा है? That is one very important answer. So first of all, I would like to, show you that particular aspect, and then only we'll be trying to decode this very, theme of science and tech. So that is of course very much important. So just let me show you that. Okay. So have a look at this, snippet which I have presented you. It says the syllabus says science and tech, its development and application in everyday's life. ठीक है. For achievement of Indians in science and tech. फिर हम कहते हैं ना made in India, indigenization of technology, new technology being established, made, developed. Awareness in the field of IT, in the field of space, in the field of computers, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, issues relating to IPR, that is intellectual property rights. So I feel that this is actually a very important idea which you have to understand when we talk about the science and technology. These are the themes precisely which are going to be dominating the paper. So this is one thing which you are supposed to know. Okay, science and tech say what all other themes which we can expect, what all other themes which we have seen in the papers every now and then. So ये एक बहुत important aspect है which we need to understand. In fact, I would like to tell you one thing, that UPSC has again and again focused on these themes only. So जो syllabus में है, these are the aspects which have been asked. I'll just try to make sure that you understand what all are the kind of the questions which we are seeing in the paper as well. ठीक है, paper में कैसे questions आ रहे हैं, that is again something which is of immense importance. So 2024 का paper, I would like to show you the kind of the questions which we have seen in the 2024 ka paper. Just hold on. Okay, so if we talk about the 2024 paper, we have got two 10 markers and we have got two 15 markers, as you can see. When I talk about the 10 markers, it says what is the present world scenario of IPR, intellectual property rights, with respect to the life materials. Got it? And India is second in the world to file patents. Still, only a few of them have been commercialized. Explain the reason behind the less commercialization. So this is actually a very interesting thing, that so many patents are being filed by India, but not many are being commercialized. So again, this is kind of a question which you are supposed to answer in a certain manner, and only if you have a basic idea about this particular aspect, you will be able to answer that. So what is more important is that when you are studying about the science and technology, it is certainly very much important to get in touch with what exactly is going on. You have to be reading the current affairs, you have to read the news as well. वो बहुत ज़्यादा important है, so उसको थोड़ा सा mind में रखना है आपने, that how do we relate to that particular thing. Clear? So I would just suggest one thing, that whenever you are reading the science and technology, make sure that you have a clear-cut understanding that how to approach that particular thing. Similarly, like we had this question, I would like to pick this one first, that what are asteroids? ठीक है, अब space से जुड़ा हुआ है. So how real is the threat of them causing extension of life? What strategies have been developed to prevent such a catastrophe? So कि asteroid से क्या एक danger है, we always talk about asteroid chances of colliding with the earth, वो सारे aspect में जाके you have to answer that. So ये मतलब काफ़ी important है, we have to understand that. Then what is the technology being employed for electronic toll collection in the highway? ये बहुत important था, when we talk about the FASTag. So FASTag system के ऊपर ये question था, what are the advantages, what are the negatives, and what are the proposed changes that will make the process seamless. So ये काफ़ी important है. Would this transition have any potential hazards? अब देखो टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर अगर मैं बात करूं, तो we also had a question on social media. अब social media वाला question I did discuss in the internal security, but here also you can discuss that, because let me tell you one thing, science and technology and internal security जो है, इसके जो questions है, इसमें I have seen certain overlap as well. We do have certain overlap, because if I talk about that bill, digital protection जो है, digital personal data protection है, we can put that in the internal security as well, we can put that in the science and tech as well, so that's absolutely fine. So ये बहुत important है that you understand how in the first place are we collaborating both the things together. So this is quite important. Now when we talk about like clean and safe water, we did discuss in the environment portion, but if we talk about what are the alternate technologies which can solve this crisis, So, give us three such technologies. So now have a look at this, that this is a question of environment and science and technology both together. So there may be a chance that there is a thing related to the environment and its solutions are there in the science and technology portion. This can very well be the possibility. So always try to make sure that you are, having a clear-cut idea that if there is an overlap, how are you supposed to be framing a good answer on that. So that is of course going to be important. These are very basic things, but of course examiner do expect you guys to be writing a decent answer to them. So this is quite important. Clear, Eddie? Okay. So moving ahead, now let's talk about 2023 paper. When I talk about the 2023 paper, of course, there was this concept of artificial intelligence. It was in a lot of news, of course, and there was direct question that introduce the concept of AI. How does AI help clinical diagnosis? Now, this is AI in medicine. So, AI in healthcare, I would say. Now, be very much clear on this perspective that when we talk about this particular portion, we have to be again very much clear that how is AI beneficial in the healthcare. We got to know that. So do you perceive any threat to the privacy of individual in the use of AI in the healthcare? So you can have a look at this. AI in defense, AI in healthcare, AI in some other domains of the life, even in the sports as we talk about. So analysis and all, it does very nicely. So we can expect some questions in that regard. So we have to be very much clear in that domain as well. Be very much clear about one thing, bete, that whenever a question is there, you have to first of all, try to make sure that you know all the dimensions which are associated with that. एक आपको dimensions का पता होना चाहिए. How do you decode the dimensions? And only then you are going to be in a position to write a decent answer. If you do not decode all of them, then you are not in a position to write a decent answer, I can assure you. So वो बहुत ज़्यादा important है. कोई space का है, कुछ भी है, so you have to make sure that you know the nitty-gritties which are involved in that particular answer. So this is what is required. Okay. Anyways, then there was a question 2023 about several ways in which microorganism can help in meeting the current fuel shortage. Now again, this is a question on biofuels. Now I won't say this is a very obscure theme. This was in a lot of news, but again, what matters is how do you put a lot of quality to your answer. आप अपने आंसर को कैसे क्वालिटी आंसर बनाओगे, ये सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज होता है. And this is what you are required to do in the paper as well. So you have to make sure of that. Then there was this question, what is the main task of India's third moon mission? This is a question on space. So what do we decode here? We have understood this point very much specifically, that if and when you are getting a question, you are basically nowadays seeing that we are seeing questions on space as a theme is important. We are seeing AI as a theme is important. We are seeing like biofuel as a theme is important. We are seeing that science and technology, how it can help in the environment, how it can help in climate change. We all know that climate change is happening, global warming and all that. So how exactly it can help in the global warming, how do we reduce global warming using science and technology? All these things are certainly important. So in the end, of course, we'll be, focusing on all the important themes. Don't worry about that. So we have to be very much clear in this regards that if any new technology is coming, okay, if we are seeing any new age key technology is coming, so how exactly can we decode that? How exactly can we understand from that? That is of course very much a fast tag. It's a new age technology. So we got to know that how do we do that? So this precisely is a point of much importance for us. Keep in your mind. Anyways, so you can clearly now understand, like when we go to 2022 paper, we had this question on James Webb Telescope. Now that again is a theme of space. So it was launched 2021. It has been much in news since then. So what are the unique features which make it superior to its predecessor space telescope? That's one thing. What are the key goals of this mission? That's another thing. What potential benefit does it hold for the human race? That's another thing. So you can see what all it has asked in this question. It has asked you about this telescope, its unique features, and key goals of the mission, potential benefits, all these things. So again, you should be in a position to at least, decode all the things together if you are, basically writing an answer. ये बहुत ज़्यादा important है आपके लिए. So be very much clear whenever you're writing an answer that you touch upon all these important dimensions which have been asked in the paper. ये बहुत important है. Clear है जी? So I am very much hopeful that this session is giving you basic clarity that what are the kind of the question being asked. Now again you can see, question was on the vaccine. Again, that's a new age thing, COVID vaccine. So what is the broad principle behind vaccine development? That's one thing. How do vaccine work, of course, and then we have got approach and all. So this is again a theme. When I talk about the science and tech, we got to understand about vaccines, about COVID, या फिर we had some relevant themes related to that. That is also important. Getting it? Then if I go to 2021 ka paper, we had this question on how is S-400 air defense system superior to any other system available in the world. Now again it's in news, then as well it was in news. So when we talk about science and technology in defense, so remember this thing, in the defense tech, how do we understand the working of a defense tech? That is also an important theme. Today they have asked you about S-400. They can ask you sometimes about the submarines. They can ask you sometimes about the sonar system. How does it work? So there is a possibility that they end up asking you these kind of questions. So be very well prepared for these, and they can directly be in your exam. So we have to take proper care of that thing as well. So these are very much expected all the time. Let me tell you one thing, ये हमेशा आने के chances होते हैं. So if they are asked, this means that you can write a good answer because you're prepared for that. So what are the research and development, R&D achievements of applied biotechnology? So how will these achievements help to uplift the poorer section of the society? So technically it is science and technology for poor, या for inclusive development as we call it. That is very much important, है ना? So ये हमेशा याद रखना that this is a very important thing, that when we talk about science and technology for masses, that what exactly is it doing for the masses, what exactly is it doing for the people who are poor, who are underprivileged, is it doing something for them? That actually is a very important theme. So we got to keep that in your mind. The Nobel Prize in the physics के ऊपर question था. So be very much clear to prepare diligently about this very theme of Nobel Prizes. So we are supposed to keep this thing in our mind, that if and when a question is coming, so we are clear about all the Nobel Prizes, all the Nobel Prizes, be it physics, be it even chemistry, and basically medicine का जो होता है. So ये तीन Nobel Prizes, of course literature का they won't ask you, peace का they won't ask you, but this physics, chemistry and medicine ka they are bound to ask you. So be very much clear that like what innovation is there, yeah, for what they have got that Nobel Prize in that particular year. So for example, for this year I would suggest you that you should know about Nobel Prizes 2024. एक बेसिक आइडिया आपको होना चाहिए. ऑफ कोर्स इकोनॉमिक्स, पीस और लिटरेचर का नहीं आइडिया होना चाहिए, बट फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, मेडिसिन यू शुड हैव अ decent idea that for what they have got that. So that of course is important. And similarly, like invention of the blue LEDs, how this invention has impacted everyday's life. Now how it has impacted everyday life, that's a different thing, but when we talk about this blue LED key innovation, you should have a basic idea about that. So it was in news, that's why they have asked you this question. ये समझ आ रहा है? So I am really hopeful that this overall idea which you are picking from here, this is helping you a lot. And ultimately the only thing which matters to me is that you should be able to pick something valuable from this. आपको यहाँ से एक basic value मिलनी चाहिए, because ultimately that is the only thing which you will take with you, the value which you are getting from here. So always try to be very much clear in this respect, that what are you gaining from the session, how well are you able to understand the session. That is of course the only thing which is required. ठीक है जी, चलिए. Now I take you to 2020 year. In 2020 we had a question on discuss the nanotechnology. ठीक है. So what do you understand by nanotechnology? and how is it helping the health sector. अब कभी AI in health sector पूछ रहे हैं, कभी nanotechnology. So you can see, science and technology in health sector is definitely a very important point, and they are asking you about these things. So of course that is important. This actually is a very important aspect which we are supposed to be understanding, and you should have a basic level of clarity in this regards. ये बहुत important है. Are you getting this point? So ये मतलब बहुत basic सी चीज़ है, but of course we are supposed to be understanding it appropriately. So 2020 में when this question came, so nanotechnology means what? At a very small scale we are doing, small scale as in terms of size. So बहुत छोटे level के ऊपर जाके हम कुछ कर रहे हैं, and that precisely becomes a very important thing. So this is why they did ask you this question. It was a very important question back then. Okay, how is science deeply connected with the lives, of course, and what are the striking changes in the agriculture triggered by the science? ये भी एक important theme है, agriculture plus science and technology. So you will find plenty of the questions being asked which are related to the agriculture, and they are also related with the science. So ये बहुत important है. So be very much clear about this thing, that whenever a question is coming, if it is having a overlapping theme, you have to address all the dimensions associated with that. ये बहुत important है. आपको हर एक dimension को मतलब answer करना होगा. You certainly cannot do this thing that you are answering one and you are ignoring the other. That certainly is not going to be the case. So ये काफी ज़्यादा important है. Are you understanding that? So वैसे तो देखो, everything is science. Science is a very broad aspect, as we all call it, but still you should have this idea. Again, 2020 we had this question, COVID-19 pandemic has caused unprecedented devastation worldwide. ठीक है. So however, tech advancements are being availed readily to win over the crisis, of course, given account of how tech was sought to aid the management of the pandemic. So इसमें वही है कि we have got like when we talk about the vaccine also, uske liye we had a proper portal, and on top of that the best part is that even if you talk about how the containment zones were being mapped, we did use the GPS special technology and all. So that also was a great innovation, that also was a great use of technology, I would say, back in those days. So it was done nicely. So the execution was good, not only in India but across the globe we saw that happening. So a lot of people got benefit out of it. So this is quite important. Yeah. Anyways, moving ahead, when we talk about 2019, bete, 2019 we had a very interesting question, that how was India benefited from the contribution of M. Visvesvaraya and Dr. M.S. Swaminathan in the field of water engineering and agriculture sciences respectively. Now this is a very interesting question. When we talk about M. Visvesvaraya, he is a person who focused on the building of dam. Okay, so Krishnaraj Sagar Dam is his contribution. He did build some more like that. So you should be answering that very much appropriately. That particular area did benefit a lot because the irrigation improved there. And if I talk about this agriculture sciences of M.S. Swaminathan, so that means high yield variety of seeds, improved yield, improved production, and we can say how he has helped in the green revolution in India. Now this question is a kind of the question you have to be in the examination hall, you have to be in a position to frame that answer properly. You should be able to connect both the things together, only then you will be getting the marks. So ये बहुत important question था, that how in the first place are you supposed to be writing a good answer to this question. So this is quite important. Got it? Like, what is India's plan to have its own space station? That's one thing. And how will it benefit our space program? So like we have International Space Station. Now China is striving for its own space station. Similarly, India wants to have its own space station, and that is why in the recent time we have seen जो Indian Air Force Officer Shukla, he is there, and he is there at the International Space Station to gain that experience, which will be very much valuable in our own space station. Though this question was asked in 2019, so that was 5-6 years back. So we are going step in the right direction. So such questions can be asked now as well. When we talk about the Gaganyaan mission, human spaceflight mission of India, that is also a very ambitious plan of ISRO, and we are just trying to make sure that in a proper way we are achieving that. So you can see, space say questions are there. There are questions on agriculture overlapping with science and technology. That's important. Again, these are also from 2019 only. There was this question that how is Government of India protecting traditional knowledge of medicine from patenting by the big pharma companies, कि big pharma companies को patent करवा लेती हैं, तो वो भी एक important question है that how exactly are we protecting our traditional medicine. So this is again a question of science and technology only, so this is an important theme. Then we talk about how can biotech help in improving the standards of farmer. So biotechnology ka hai, in relation with the farmers. So this is a very important aspect we got to understand, that how do we relate them together. ठीक है? Are you understanding this point? Everyone, I hope you have got a basic idea. चलिए. Then we move to the 2018. 2018 mein we had these questions. There was this question on, discuss the work of Bose-Einstein statistics done by Professor Satyendranath Bose. And actually it was a great innovation of S.N. Bose, so that's why they have asked you that. Show how it revolutionized the field of physics. So you should know about contribution of India's, Indians basically in the field of science and tech. So this question is basically related to that only, contribution of Indians in the field of science and tech. So this was a very interesting question, though on a tougher side, but if you had studied, you could have written a decent answer to that. So always remember this very theme, contribution of Indians in the field of science and tech. This actually is a very important thing we are supposed to be studying appropriately. Having said that, why is there so much activity in the field of biotechnology in our country? So biotech के ऊपर question है. How has this benefited the field of biopharma? So this is quite an important point we need to understand. Biotech का जो एक theme है, that is important theme. So I always end up saying this thing. So that biotech and its relation with the pharma is quite an important theme which we are supposed to always understand. And with growing energy needs, should India keep on expanding its nuclear energy program? Discuss the facts and the fears associated with the nuclear energy. So basically, when we talk about science and tech का aspect in the energy, so अब energy में they can end up asking about the biomass, they can ask you about the nuclear, like they've asked you in this year as well. So even the solar technologies, science and tech, improving the yield of solar technology, they can ask you that as well. So you should be in a position to at least, understand that what are the kind of the questions which can be framed from the previous year papers, and that is going to be of immense help to you. So ये बहुत ज़्यादा important aspect है which we are supposed to be understanding. Clear है बेटे? So I am hopeful that these discussions are giving you a proper clarity, a holistic clarity on how do we approach these points precisely. ये काफ़ी ज़्यादा important है. चलिए, moving ahead, then we talk about the year 2017. 2017 में stem cell therapy, again the science and tech in healthcare is very much important because it is gaining popularity to treat various medical conditions like leukemia or thalassemia, या damaged cornea, या severe burns. So when we talk about this point, we have to describe briefly what is stem cell therapy and what are the advantages it has over other treatments. So again, if they are asking you specifically about a particular technology, you should be in a position to know about that. And trust me, if you have read the newspapers properly, you will be knowing that what exactly is going on in the news on regular basis. क्या ऐसी चीज़ है जो regular basis पे news में आ रही है, and you will be certainly in a position to write a decent answer to that. So that is of course important. That precisely is a very important aspect we are supposed to be understanding in this regard. So yeah, I hope it's absolutely clear. मेरे point समझ में आया? So I am 100% sure about one thing at least, that you are at least now able to have a good level of understanding on whatever we are talking about. Okay, having said that, now 2017 mein, there was this India has achieved success in the unmanned space missions including Chandrayaan and Mars orbiter mission, but has not ventured into manned space mission जैसे गगनयान की बात आती है. So what are the main obstacles? That's one thing. And both in terms of technology and logistics, you have to examine critically. Just imagine in 2017 we had this question. So here on one side you have to say that yes, we have done well in the unmanned missions like a lunar mission or the Mars mission, but you also have to acknowledge that we are yet to prove our potential in the manned missions, that is Gaganyaan and all. So this was a question to be answered in that regards. In that way, you are supposed to be answering this question, and that is why this actually, well, this kind of the question is a bit challenging for you in that regards. Always keep that in your mind. So that is important. Okay. Give an account of the growth and development of nuclear science and technology in India. That's one thing. What is the advantage of the fast breeder reactor program? So fast breeder reactor program ke upar this was a question. This is actually a very prominent question. Whenever you study about the science and technology, you always have to study about this fast breeder program, and you have to know about various stages of the nuclear power in India. So as I've told you, this is a very important theme. Nuclear ke upar in 2018, 2019, we have seen this question. See, that nuclear energy program of India, they have asked this question. Every now and then we have seen the questions being asked on that. So this is something which we have to keep in our mind, that how in the first place are we supposed to answer such questions effectively. It is not just about answering, it's about answering effectively. So you'll have 3-4 questions every year. Just try to make sure that you are having a clear-cut understanding on all these aspects. Next, in 2016, if you ask me, we had this question on space and technology. India's achievement in the field of space science and technology. So how the application of this technology has helped India in the socio-economic development. Now that's the beauty. Science and technology may, they've asked you about the space, and the space technology, how it has helped in the socio-economic development. It has helped in the education, it has helped in the like satellites we launch, and like when we talk about the Krishi channel, it is helping the farmers. So in that domain, you're supposed to be answering such questions. This is actually a very important point. We are supposed to be having a decent clarity in this direction, जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा important है. Getting it? So I don't think that this is a very tough question for that matter, but you are supposed to have a good level of clarity in this regards. Clear है बेटे? चलिए. Now moving ahead in this very direction. Now we got to understand, like, अब देखो nanotech पे फिर से question है. 2016 में we had a question that why is nanotechnology one of the key technology in 21st century? Describe the salient feature of this government's mission on nanotechnology and the scope of its application. So now that is important because we have a proper government mission on nanotechnology. So this is a very important aspect we are supposed to understand, that here you can't write anything under the sun. Here you have to write specific answer. Here you are supposed to be very much specific, that how exactly are you framing your answer. That is becoming very much important. So ये थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखना. Moving ahead, when we talk about the 2015 का paper, we had this question on standard positioning system and precision positioning system in the GPS era. So this is again new age tech. So new age tech में this is also important. So advantage India perceives from its IRNSS. When we talk about Indian regional navigation system की हम बात करते हैं, so we are having proper 7 satellites in that. So that is of course important. Then we talk about what are the areas of prohibitive labor. ठीक है, so that can be managed by the robo. So ये भी new age technology है robo. So robot हो गया, stem cell technology, GPS, improvement in the GPS, all these things become important. Like 2015 में we had a question that India's traditional knowledge digital library, which has a database of this. So you have to focus on the pros and cons on making this database public available under open source licensing. कि हो सकता है कोई थोड़ा modify करके patent ना करवा ले and उसको commercially use करने लगे. This is a point. But again, if you had read the news properly, you could have known that what exactly is this India's traditional knowledge digital library, and accordingly you could have framed your answer. That is of course important. Science and technology reading and writing a good answer on that is all about your smart work. कि आप smart work कैसे कर पा रहे हैं. If you are able to do that smart work properly, then sky is the limit for you. So always be very much clear in this direction. ये काफी important है. Got it. When we talk about the 2014 का paper, what exactly do we have? So like scientific research in Indian universities is declining. अब ये वही है कि university level पे R&D की बात हो रही है. R&D in India, that's important. And career in the science is not as attractive as business professions, engineering or administration. So universities are becoming consumer oriented. So they are focusing on the placements only, not the R&Ds, and उन्हीं fields में लोग जा रहे हैं जहाँ पे पैसा है. These kind of questions it is there. So it is basically R&D in India. You got to have a glimpse of that in your answer. That's important. उसके बाद कैन ओवरव्यूज एंड फ्री अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक्स. अभी एंटीबायोटिक्स पे क्वेश्चन है, एंटीबायोटिक रेजिस्टेंस पे बेसिकली क्वेश्चन है. So, drug resistant diseases in India we have emergence of, and what are the mechanism for monitoring it and control. Discuss various issues which are involved in that. So this is the kind of the question which we have. That's certainly important. Moving ahead, in the globalized world, IPR, intellectual property rights. Okay, so it has assumed significance and a source of litigation when we talk about. So you have to distinguish between the term copyrights, patents, trade secrets. So again, as I've told you, that IPR as a theme is important. In the end of the class, I'll show you all the important themes which we identify in the science and technology, which we are supposed to have a basic idea about that. Okay, IPR, that is intellectual property right, be it patents, be it copyrights, it is certainly important for you. If we talk about the 2013 bit, we had this circumstances in 2005 which forced amendment to the Indian patent law. So discuss how it has been utilized by the Supreme Court in its judgment regarding Novartis ka hi chal raha tha us samay issue. How a particular medicine which can be life saving, if it is patented, it is very much expensive, we can't make a generic medicine out of it. So it is again issue related to the IPR they have asked you. Then what do you want to say about the fixed dose drug combinations, FDCs? Discuss the merits and demerits. So ये भी मतलब healthcare drugs से related है. What do you want to say about the umpire DRS, decision review system in the cricket? Discuss its various components. Explain how silicone tape on the edge of the bat may fool the system. So ये बहुत interesting है. When we talk about this technology, when we when we detect that heat, वो करते हैं जैसे बैट के पास बॉल लगी, वो स्निक सिस्टम पूरा है. So DRS system is very nice actually. It has got Hawkeye, ball tracking होती है उसमें, that it will hit the stumps or not. It also checks that the ball has nicked the bat or not. So this is a very interesting thing. Now this question actually reminds me of this thing that they can ask you something which is not bookish. So it is someone who loves cricket, they know about the DRS system. So application science and technology question. What is a digital signature? How does its authentication mean? Happens, and you have to give various features of digital signature. How does the 3D printing work? अब ये देखो ये अलग है. Fourth question में इसे दो part दिए. Advantage disadvantage of 3D printing. So this is the question we have got on 3D printing, and we have got what is digital signature. So there are two different questions merged in one. Similarly, what is an FRP composite material? Okay, how is it manufactured? Discuss its application in the automobile and aviation. Uska, what do you understand by the run of river hydroelectric project? How is it different from any other hydroelectric project? So 2013 ka paper was a bit lengthy because in one question they had multiple questions which were amalgamated. Now what is more important is that now having known these questions, having seen these questions, I would say, what idea do we get? We get this idea that these are some of the most important themes. Space is a very important theme, no doubt about that. So you can't miss out on that. Moreover, on top of that, when we talk about the AI, artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence ka use in the healthcare, it can be its use in education, it has to be studied. Biofuel is an important theme, so you got to understand about how improvement is happening in the fields. So it can be biofuel, it can be hydrogen fuel, you should read about that. Vaccines, that was important for 2020 2021, specifically may not happen again. Science and technology utilization in the environment, in the climate change, how it can help in the global warming. IPR, that is patent copyright issues, they are being asked. Defense, science and tech use in the defense equipments, that you should know the mechanism of how does that system work. When we talk about this Iron Dome sort of system, air defense system, how do they work? They were in a lot of news. And new age technology you should read about. It can be anything which is in news. For science and technology use for the socio-economic development of the country, that as a theme is important. You should read about the Nobel prizes which were there in news. 2024 के तो आप physics, chemistry, medicine पढ़ेंगे ही, but पुराने भी अगर news में हैं, you should read about that. Biotech, when we talk about, so biotech like pharma related things, and energy, you should know about energy like biomass, you should know about nuclear tech. and you should know about any other emerging source of technology. It can be geothermal as well. So because GS paper 3, let me tell you again, is not a very homogeneous kind of a paper. It's a very heterogeneous paper. It has so many themes which are there. So you are supposed to know that how exactly are we supposed to prepare, how exactly are we supposed to prepare in a manner that we are having a proper clarity on these different directions. So that is of course important. ये काफ़ी ज़्यादा एक basic चीज़ है which a lot of people miss out. So you are supposed to have a good level of understanding in this regards. I hope you are able to do that. So any doubts in case you have, you surely can let me know. I hope you have greatly benefited again from the session which we have done just now. And I just want one thing only, that you should be in a position to have a good level of understanding on these points. सारे जो भी points है, you should have a decent level of understanding on them, and only then I would say that our purpose is being solved. If we are having a decent level of understanding, the purpose is solved of this particular analysis. So GS paper 3 ki analysis is going on well, I would say, because since there were so many themes to discuss, but still we have done that effectively. So now I can confidently say one thing, that we have covered all the themes like science and technology, disaster management, ecology, internal security. Economy say, there's a theme of agriculture which we'll be doing tomorrow, that is Friday. So tomorrow, yani ki Friday, 12 p.m. live, we'll be doing the theme of agriculture. That what all of the questions coming from the agriculture theme. So that is what we are going to be doing tomorrow. Make sure you join our Telegram channel, IAS Origin. You can search for that easily, you will find that. And if you join the Telegram channel, you will easily be able to see that PDFs of various sessions is available there. So you can join the Telegram channel, you can take advantage of various PPTs as well. And on top of that, make sure if you're writing mains this year to join our free test series, which is free for the first 50 students. And on top of that, you can find the link in the description, of course. On top of that, if you are genuinely preparing for the UPSC examination, make sure you join the free workshop which we have on Sunday for you. So from 12 to 3, we have a workshop for you. So make sure you don't miss out on that workshop, because ultimately that workshop will be of immense help to you. So ये बहुत important workshop है. So don't forget to join that particular workshop, because that is of course going to help you so much. So workshop को ज़रूर से ज़रूर attend करें. So I'll again write over here. It is 12 to 3 p.m. on Sunday. We have this free workshop for all the aspirants out there. So it's a great opportunity for you to clear all your doubts in case there is any. Because ultimately, see, what matters is that how in the first place are you going to apply whatever you have studied. So that workshop helps in that regards. Workshop आपको बहुत ज़्यादा help करेगी, that how in the first place are you supposed to be applying each and everything which you have learned over here. So that is of course important, and make sure that's why you join the workshop as well, which we conduct on Sunday. So that's it from my side. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Thank you so very much. Have a great day. See you tomorrow 12 p.m. live. Till then, take care. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.